What's up, Yinzer Maniacs? This is Steel Town Yinzers. This is going to be the first full episode that we're uploading today. So, just a little intro. We just got back from Myrtle Beach vacation. It was a lot of fun. And on the way home, we stopped up in Williamsburg and did the whole 4th of July fireworks parade. All that. That was really awesome. So, we'll just jump right into it. We're going to do the overall roster. What we got on the roster right now, we got a quarterback, we got Ben, Mason Rudolph, Dobbs, and Haskins. Keep reading, everything I keep reading on Haskins is, well, Ben's quote was, he can throw a ball through a car wash and it won't get wet.
Yeah.
I thought that was a silly quote, but kind of speaks, Ben's a legend, so if it's coming from him, it's got to hold some kind of truth to it.
Yeah.
And the quote from James Washington says that he's a good guy. He just needs good guys around him. And being in the Steelers organization, I don't see a better fit. So, moving on to running backs, we got Benny Snell, McFarland, Jalen Samuels, Derek Watt, Edmonds, Balish, and Harris. I see Harris obviously having a huge impact on the team, filling a huge void that we needed, regardless of what analytics and all the ESPN guys say that we should have drafted a lineman in the first round. You don't just pass up on a talent like Najee Harris. Especially, Connor did all right in his stint after Bell, but at the end there, I kept calling him the Penguin just because he just waddled up the field, didn't really have the vision that was necessary, and just lacked that, just picking away and going, which I like from Harris. And I also like the Balish signing because he's a big back, comparable to Derrick Henry in size, just a little bit shorter and a little bit less weight on him, but he's one of those guys that we need. He's going to hit the hole, and he's going to hit it hard.
Yeah, good speed.
And good speed, too. He ran, a 4.5, a 4.45?
Yeah.
Somewhere right in there.
Yeah.
On to the receivers. Obviously, we got Juju back. That's huge. We're going to need a big season from him. And we got Claypool. Obviously, he had a spectacular rookie campaign. Usually those guys have like a sophomore slump. They get that attention focused on them. But with our receiving core, you kind of pick your poison, who you're going to guard and who's going to be open. Then we go on to Deontay Johnson, James Washington, McLeod, White, Johnson, Sexton, who is a speedster. He's probably going to go right into special teams, probably at least competing for the special teams returner.
Yeah.
And we got Simmons, Bussey, and McCoy.
Yeah.
So really, really strong receiving core. Especially the first four guys, and you add in, we can see Sexton in some special packages with Canada's new offense, and same thing for Ray McLeod. So we'll be looking for them this off season, into training camp and to the preseason, and then into the O-line. So we broke it down into different. There's a lot of guys that can play. They're like hybrids. They can play center, they can play guards, and we have guys who can play guard and tackle. So the center guard is who we're looking at is Hassenauer, Finney, and the draft pick Kendrick Green. I really like the Kendrick Green. He started off on defense in college, right? So I like the aggressiveness that the mentality you have on defense, and obviously it translated well for him on offense. And everybody has great things to say about him in the locker room. He's just crushing it, and I really believe he's like a Pouncey career reincarnation. So that'll be a key for us.
Yeah, his body style is a lot like Pouncey.
Yeah, he's basically just Pouncey 2.0 so far. Then guards, we got new sign Trey Turner, and then we also have Dotson. I like the Turner signing just to give us some more veteran leadership and experience. So that was a great pickup. And we have Jones, Haig, who was in the Super Bowl. That gives us another experienced guy, and he's one of those, he can play guard and tackle. So we could also see something from him like they did in the Super Bowl, possibly put him in that tackle, having him as an eligible receiver, and getting those short goal line conversions.
Yeah.
Especially since everybody's going to be expecting Harris to get the ball or Ballard right on the goal line. It'd be nice for a little toss-up there for him.
Yeah.
And then we also have Coward. For the tackles, we got Banner, LeGlue, Coyle, Moore, Okafor, Walton, and Collins. So we're pretty deep at tackle. It's just going to come down to the battles and who outperforms who as far as the starting is going to be.
Yeah.
Really could be, any mixture of those guys depending on who shows up and shows out.
Yeah.
We've been signing a lot of guys just for competition purposes. So I really expect a lot of competition, a lot of we also have, if you paid attention the last couple of years, we rotate those guys anyway to, who's going to be the best fit, especially with the whole new O-line, but we'll get into the O-line specifically later.
Yeah.
Then at tight end, we got Ebron back, and obviously we signed Freiermuth. I came up with the nickname for him, kind of like Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I call him E-I-E-I-R. So we also got Ratter, Raymond, and Gentry. And everything I read about Freiermuth is that he's a silky smooth player, and he actually played basketball in high school. So the last tight end I'm aware of that played basketball on a competitive level was Antonio Gates. So that kind of, for me, speaks to itself, because they have different footwork that can, benefit them running routes, and even, he probably played big man in school, so he's able to be physical. He's able to kind of get in the way and block as well.
Yeah.
And he has phenomenal hands. Then we got our kicker Boswell, and then we signed Sam Sloman. Now, I think the Sloman signing is kind of funny because the last time we played in the Hall of Fame game, it was Sean Swisham at kicker, and he tore his ACL and basically ended his career. So I think, going forward, Boswell will be obviously that guy, and I think the Sloman is just like a worst case scenario, so nothing that happens to Boswell.
Yeah.
And then long snappers, we got Kennedy and Kuntz. And we had Pouncey and Vance McDonald retire this year. Obviously Pouncey is going to be a hit, but you can also see this last year he was just done. He was just done, and just kind of, you could tell he was just kind of over it. So then we lost James Conner, which doesn't really bother me at all. I was really tired of watching him waddle up the field. We lost Villanueva. Especially this last year, and even the year before that, he just looked lost. Like he didn't know what was going on half the time, and guys are blowing past him, which you can't have at left tackle. That's just too crucial.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Castro departure. So
and we also lost Filer to free agency too.
Yes. So that's it for me on the offense. Scotty is going to take over on the defense.
Defensive line, it's still pretty much intact from what we had last year. Probably what we'll see at nose tackle is Alu. Wormley will probably get some reps in there. The Steelers like to have fresh legs, so they do a rotation to keep that D-line fresh. And then what they have for D tackles are Hayward, Davis, and then your defensive ends, Tuitt, Boggs, Mondu, Taylor, Anderson, Carter, and then a rookie draft pick, Loudermilk. Out of this, I kind of want to see where this Loudermilk kid kind of fits in. He'll probably be see him a lot on special teams, and then he'll probably be in the mix somewhere. This kid looks pretty stout, very strong, so we'll see kind of how that unfolds in training camp.
What player would you compare Loudermilk to? If you had to.
He physically he looks a lot like Hayward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their playing style, they both came out of the Big Ten. Their playing styles are a lot similar. Now, if he's got, Hayward was more highly recruited than Loudermilk. Loudermilk's, I think the good part about what he's going to bring is his work ethic. He's a workhorse. Like he's gonna put in the time. He's gonna watch the film, and he's gonna work hard. So I like that, and I think that's as far as the Steeler coaches, I think that's why they came back in the 5th round when he was still there to pick him.
Right.
Outside linebackers, we got the all-world T.J. Watt, Highsmith, who I think is going to take a forward leap into his sophomore season coming up.
Yeah, I see a breakout season last year. He had a good showing last year too.
Yeah, and then round out the position is Marsh, Jones, Watson, and Roche. What I think they're going to need to bring another one in. The position's pretty low as far as there's not much depth.
Right.
Roche, the rookie from University of Miami, he's got the potential. He's got a lot of talent, but he's very raw. So they're going to have to coach him up. Probably where he'll make the team is special teams. But we're going to I think we need to either make a trade possibly, or definitely bring in another free agent to fill out the depth at outside linebacker. It's kind of definitely one of our weakest positions as far as depth.
Right, definitely.
Inside linebacker, we're sitting pretty good. I feel pretty comfortable with everybody that we have there. Bush, Spillane, Gilbert, Williams, Scales, Bondage, Miller, and then the rookie I really like is Buddy Johnson out of Texas A&M. He's going to make an immediate impact on special teams. I saw a thing with Coach Gary O where he talked up this kid big time. So
he looks mean.
Yeah, he
looks like he'll bite your ear off like Tyson.
Yeah, and he said that the thing he likes is he'll attack the line and he'll go after the ball carrier. Now, where he'll need to be coached up is like dropping back in his own coverage, and then if he's got running back responsibility coming out in the flat, we'll kind of see how that works. But he flows to the ball very well, and he's a pretty smart player too. So
yeah, he's got a good IQ on him.
That should help too. And then to round out the linebackers, in today's game, they use kind of like a hybrid linebacker. That I look at Allen, and then we have Brooks, and then we have the free agent Killebrew that we picked up from the Lions. So we got pretty good depth there too, and different packages that the Steelers will use. And then the secondary, corner, Hagan, Sutton, Pierre, Lane, AC, Gilbert, and Brown. What I've been reading is that the coaching staff is very high on James Pierre. We'll see kind of who goes outside.
He's got good size too. He's listed at 6'2", 185. So
Yeah.
big, nice guy, but he's still light enough to move around and keep up with guys. So
Yeah.
I like that physicality size that he brings.
And last year it was good because he ended up kind of filling in at crucial points when injuries happened. So he does have NFL experience as far as, he saw reps. So I'm really interested to see how Pierre fits in, whether he's going to go outside. So the position battle will probably be Pierre and Sutton, who goes on opposite side of Hayden. And then this Brown kid that he was an undrafted free agent that we picked up after the draft. He's going to fit in there, I believe, somewhere. He'll probably make the team, I think, on special teams. So we'll kind of see what happens in corner and different packages that they use. And then rounding out the rest of the defensive backs and safeties, of course, is Edmonds and Minka, and then we'll have Norwood, Wade, Denmark, and Mollett. And then also another signing they had was Steiner. So we'll kind of see how that goes heading into training camp as the position battles are created, and of course the preseason games as a test to see how they do as a unit. And at punter, we'll have Barry and Presley Harvin III, who I really like. They have him listed at 6 foot, 255 pounds, which I think, looking at him, he probably goes the upward of 260 or better. He's definitely the biggest punter I've ever seen, and for what they're talking about, he just booms the ball. So I've never really been a big fan of Barry.
He's just so inconsistent. The first or second punt of the game, he'll get it down 40, 50 yards, but then the rest of the game, it's like it's lucky if it goes 15 to 20 yards, or he'll boom it 50 yards straight up, and it goes maybe 5 yards down the field. So I see Harvin winning that battle pretty easily. As long as if you can consistently get the ball 30 yards, we'll take that. And I think that's going to be.
And in those crucial situations like with Barry, where you need that ball dropped in the 10, 5-yard line.
Right. There was too many times we're pinned on their own 20, and we have to get it at least to the 50, and he maybe gets it to the 35. Can't have that.
Yeah, and that's a position that we need better punting. So, and I really like that draft pick when they took him. So again, we'll see training camp and preseason how that battle kind of unfolds. So that's kind of like the current roster breakdown. I'll turn it back over to Ryan, and
we'll do the closeout here. So we did, on the defensive end, we did lose Bud Dupree. That was a hit, but we could all see it coming. Dealing with injuries, and he finally, turned that corner, and once again went down with injuries. We lost Hilton, which just really came down to salary versus him and Sutton. So we definitely, I think Sutton was the obvious choice there. I liked Hilton's energy. He, always found himself by the ball, but he gambled too much.
Yeah.
He'd either get burnt or he'd be right there. So Sutton, to me, is more consistent, not letting the guy get past him.
Yeah, and then in the secondary, we lost Hilton, Davis. At linebacker, we lost Danny. And then, they released Nelson, which I think, as of right now, I think he's still out there. But everything I've been reading and hearing is that he wants starter money. So, and the Steelers, that's not an option. They're not going to bring him back in and give him starter money.
Right. So that's the overall roster. Now we're going to go into the O-line. Obviously, DeCastro. At first you think that's a real big hit, but if you look at our line since 2019, we've just been on the decline with everybody that we had. Obviously, that the injuries were just kind of nagging DeCastro, and upon his release, he came out with a quote saying that the new offensive line is in good hands. He was praising the O-line coach and was, like we were saying earlier, to kind of like a fresh start with this O-line.
Yeah.
Especially with, Harris and the young, the quarterbacks after this season are all pretty young after Ben's gone, and a young receiving core. So it's kind of like a new fresh start to get everybody moving forward.
And the offensive line coach, Adrian Clem, I like everything. I've been reading about him and what the players are saying. He's taking an aggressive physical approach, and that's how he wants them to play. So with the pieces that we have, with the players on the roster, of course losing a Pro Bowl player and talent like DeCastro is going to be, it's a hard hit, but I don't think it's a total sink. The ship's on the water, so to speak, but I think we're going to kind of stay afloat with the players that we do have.
Right.
We have, what I do like is I like the position flexibility that's on the current roster. Hassenauer, Finney, Turner, Dotson, Coward, Haig, Banner, Okorafor, all have NFL experience. We've had this happen in the past years where they've had to plug and play, and we've done fairly well. But the offensive line has definitely been on the decline since 2019. Ben went down, weren't able to run the ball. Pouncey, Villanueva, and DeCastro, they were all on the decline as far as what physical play we had. That was a dominant offense up through 2018. 19, you could definitely see the decline. So it could be good for a fresh start. And the position flexibility we have with Hassenauer, Finney being able to play guard and center. I believe Green's going to be the starter coming out of preseason.
Yeah.
And then Dawson's going to definitely be one of the guards. I think I'll look for them to keep him on the right side.
Yeah.
Turner, 6-time Pro Bowler. He's going to bring a lot of experience to that position.
Right, and kind of coach up. I've heard he's good with coaching up the younger guys too. So that's a big, a big veteran fill that we needed here, especially with all the young new faces we got coming on the O-line.
Yeah, and he's going to bring that veteran leadership, and he's going to be good for the locker room. The other thing I like is Haig. I like having Haig on the roster as far as he's able to go at guard and tackle. I do think he's more of a tackle, and that's where he'll kind of fit in with his reps. So there's going to be some good position battles on the O-line.
Yes. So that's about it for that. Closing here, We are going to be doing a live card break Sunday, July 11th, so this Sunday at 8 p.m. we're going to go live. Slots are on eBay. I'll post a link in the description below. All the slots are on there for purchase. There's a buy now option and the bidding option. So what we're going to break is we got a Select blaster, we've got a Chronicles blaster, we've got one score value pack with 40 cards, and then we have 7 cello packs. Now last time, a lot of the hits came out of the cello packs. So a lot of the Tuas, a lot of the Herberts, and a majority of the Burrows from last time came out of those packs. So this is not one you're going to want to sleep on, especially with the Select.
The Select box.
So, the bidding on the eBay slots ends Saturday the 10th at 10 p.m. So after that, after all the slots are sold, the next day we'll be doing the break live on the Sport Card Breaks group on Facebook. That link will also be posted below. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share to all of our social media. All the social media will also be posted in the description below. And remember, if you ain't a Steeler fan, you're a real jag-off.
We'll see you later.